Hello, and welcome to our lesson on implementing risk responses and monitoring risk. This segment will cover monitoring risks Part 2. Risks are dynamic entities that require constant vigilance and assessment. Regular risk assessment and evaluation constitute a crucial phase in risk management, allowing project teams to stay abreast of emerging threats, assess the effectiveness of implemented responses, and adapt strategies as needed. This section focuses on two key aspects. 1. Conducting periodic risk assessments. Regular risk assessments involve systematically reviewing and reassessing the project environment to identify new risks, reassess existing risks, and gauge changes in risk likelihood or impact. These assessments should be conducted at predefined intervals or triggered by significant project milestones. The process typically involves risk identification, identifying new risks that may have emerged since the last assessment, and reassessing previously identified risks for any changes in their characteristics or significance. Risk analysis, using qualitative and quantitative analysis techniques to assess the likelihood and potential impact of identified risks. This helps prioritize risks based on severity and informs decision-making regarding risk response strategies. Risk documentation. Documenting the findings of the risk assessment, including updated risk registers, risk matrices, and any relevant analysis or documentation. This ensures transparency and facilitates communication among project stakeholders. Regular risk assessments provide project teams with timely insights into the evolving risk landscape, enabling proactive risk management and mitigation strategies to be implemented. 2. Evaluating the effectiveness of implemented risk responses. In addition to identifying new risks, regular evaluations are necessary to assess the effectiveness of previously implemented risk response strategies. This evaluation process involves performance measurement, assessing the impact of implemented risk responses on mitigating or addressing identified risks. This may involve comparing the current risk exposure to the initial risk baseline or targets established during response planning. Feedback mechanisms, soliciting feedback from project stakeholders, including team members, sponsors, and external partners, regarding their perceptions of the effectiveness of implemented risk responses. This qualitative input can provide valuable insights into the real-world effectiveness of response strategies. Lessons learned. Reflecting on past experiences and lessons learned from previous risk events to inform future risk response strategies. This continuous improvement loop ensures project teams refine their approaches based on past successes and failures. By regularly assessing and evaluating risks, project teams can maintain a proactive stance toward risk management, adapt swiftly to changing circumstances, and optimize project outcomes. Effective project risk management requires a dynamic approach that acknowledges the fluid nature of risks and the evolving project landscape. Reviewing and updating risk management plans is essential for ensuring that project teams remain responsive to changing conditions and are equipped to address emerging threats. The focus is on two key components of this process. 1. Identifying new risks and updating risk register. As projects progress, new risks may emerge, or previously unidentified risks may come to light. Project teams must remain vigilant and continuously scan the project environment for potential threats. The process involves continuous monitoring, implementing mechanisms for ongoing monitoring of project activities, external factors, and stakeholder dynamics to identify new risks or changes in existing risk profiles. Stakeholder engagement, encouraging active participation from project stakeholders in risk identification efforts, leveraging their diverse perspectives and expertise to uncover potential risks that may have been overlooked. Updating risk register, documenting newly identified risks in the project's risk register, including relevant details such as risk descriptions, likelihood, impact, and proposed risk response actions. This ensures that the risk register remains a comprehensive and up-to-date repository of project risks. Regularly updating the risk register enables project teams to understand the risk landscape and facilitates informed decision-making regarding risk response strategies. 2. Adjusting risk response strategies, based on monitoring outcomes. The effectiveness of implemented risk response strategies should be continually evaluated through ongoing monitoring and assessment. If monitoring outcomes indicate that certain risks are not being adequately addressed, or that response actions are ineffective, adjustments to risk response strategies may be necessary. This process involves performance review, analyzing monitoring data and performance indicators to assess the effectiveness of implemented risk response strategies in mitigating or addressing identified risks. Root cause analysis. Conducting root cause analysis to understand why certain risk response strategies may not achieve the desired outcomes. This involves identifying underlying factors contributing to the ineffectiveness of response actions. Strategy adjustment, based on the findings of performance reviews and root cause analysis, revisiting and adjusting risk response strategies as needed. This may involve refining existing strategies, implementing alternative approaches, or introducing new measures to address identified gaps. By regularly reviewing and updating risk management plans, project teams can adapt to changing circumstances, strengthen their resilience to risks, and enhance their ability to achieve project objectives successfully. This is the end of this segment of our lesson. In the next segment, we shall discuss managing changes due to adjusting risk responses. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening, and see you on our next segment.